Hello everyone, welcome back to DevBrain's AI YouTube channel, and I'm excited to have you here for our second video, and where we'll be diving into the capabilities of ByteBoss AI agent, focusing on application development and in programming. In our previous video, we have introduced our ByteBoss, a powerful LLM-driven AI agent that's not just capable of programming, but also excels at testing, debugging, and handling other variety of tasks. Today, we'll be taking things up and we'll explore the possibilities, what project we can build with the ByteBoss, and we can build it effectively and utilize and build a fully functional project. In this session, we'll guide you through the creation of the AI-powered chatbot application, and this chatbot application will use the socket connection for the bidirectional communication, enabling real-time interaction and data exchange. So before diving into coding, let's take a moment and understand the tech stack we'll be working with and the key terminologies involved in this project. So let's just first start with the tech stack. For the front-end implementation, we'll be using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML will structure our content, CSS will handle the styling and make our application visually appealing, and JavaScript will be responsible for client-side programming, managing most of the logic, implementing socket connection, and manipulating the DOM. On the backend, we'll be using the Node.js and the Express. Node.js is the server runtime, and the Express is the framework. And these tools will power our server-side logic, handling the data exchange between the client and server seamlessly. So the chatbot will also be using the DeepSeek LLM as an AI service. The DeepSeek is a powerful LLM. It's an open source project scaling language models with over 2 trillion tokens. And in the recent news, we have heard it outperformed other models like LLMA2, GPT 3.5 in a lot of different valuations. So before diving into the projects, let's first understand what is chatbot. A chatbot is basically a computer program which is designed to simulate the conversation with human users. It can interact through the text, voice, and it could be any other multimedia channels that the communication is happening. The usual task is like answering questions, providing information, or assisting with the task. Chatbots are commonly used in customer services, websites, and messaging apps to enhance our user experience and the efficiency. And these are some of the top chatbots that are currently in the market, which is powered by AI. One of the good examples is ChatGPT that we've been using in our daily lives, and the Microsoft Bing Chat and the Google Gemini. And in this project, we'll be implementing the socket just to establish the bidirectional communication between the client and the server. So let's first understand what is socket. A socket is a communication endpoint that allows the real-time bidirectional data exchange between client. For example, like we can take the mobile application or the web browser as a client and the server. In the real-time chat application, socket enables the users to send and receive the messages instantly without needing to refresh the page or poll the server for updates. So at the bottom in the image, you can see we have a client socket, we have the server socket. Server socket is listening to the server output stream, and client is listening to the client input stream. Let's understand the basic terminologies that we'll be using in our projects. What is client or / user? In general, a client is a computer or the device that accesses services or resources provided by the server over the network, and it initiates a request and receives a response from the server. For example, our computer in our mobile devices or the browser, we can take it as a client. Let's understand what is server. A server is a group of computer or the group of network, or it's a system that provides resources, data, or the services to clients over the network. It processes a lot of requests and responding to enable communication and the resource sharing. Let's briefly understand the socket connection in our chatbot app idea and the communication flow.
The client will use the software applications either in the mobile apps or in the web browser. The socket is initialized in the client, and the socket connection request has been sent to the server using the socket client. The server will validate the socket connection request and either accept or reject the request. Let's assume the server accepts the request and the server emits the successful message to the client, and the client receives the message and the successful socket connection is established. After the successful socket connection, with the socket instance created, both the server and the client can exchange the information. In our chatbot application, the user will be using the mobile application or the web browser. Then the user will type and send the message, and the client socket will emit the message to the server. The server will receive the message and then send the message body to the AI services for the processing. Once the server request has been processed, the server will emit the message back to the client with the requested response. And the client will bind the data in the UI, and the data is been displayed in the UI. This is the process by which the real-time exchange of messages over the socket happens. When the user leaves the session or the close the app, socket connection will be disconnected. And once the socket connection has been disconnected, there will be no exchange of information between the client and the server.
With this video, we understood how the socket connection and our chatbot idea and the communication flow is working. So let's just start working on the project. So in this project, we'll be building one chat application in which the client will interact with the server, and server again interact with the services that the AI will provide. Upon getting the response back from the AI services, the server will respond as our query answer, and then we'll just bind those answer in our UI and we'll display it. So let's just start developing our projects. So let me just quickly close this and I'll move to the project itself. And unlike the last time we have built it in the dev container, we'll be doing this setup locally and we'll be developing our entire project in the VS Code. And this is great news for the developers. So I'll tell you the stepwise approach to follow, how to do the installation process and how to get started with the project structure. So let me just copy the clone URL. So at this phase of the development, I am expecting all of you know the details about the Visual Studio Code, and you must have the installation and the setup already. So let me just close this quickly and I will open up the terminal. I think this is the other one. I will open up the PowerShell first. So my PowerShell is here. So I'll quickly go to the D and I'll just create I'll just create one folder called chatbot. Okay, it is already there. So let me just do, I'll just do chatbot. I'll add one more T just to make it interesting. Okay, so I'll just go to the chatbot and I'll just go to the VS Code. I'll just type code and dot. It will open up the VS Code for me, and I'll be able to see the Visual Studio Code here. So I'll expand the window quickly because there is no need of browser interface right now. I can do all things from here itself. I'll open up this and I'll open up the terminal first, and I'll just expand the terminal window. Instead of I'll use the git bash. So right now I'm in the chatbot directory. I'll go to and then I will type the git clone and the URL that I copied. So let it copy the entire project here. So just copy the entire project that I can see. I have the entire project here. Okay, so I'll just briefly explain what the project structure is about. So first thing is the ByteBoss agent, the AI agent itself. And second one is the packages the agent is being used. And these are the projects that inside which we will be working on. And we have the .gitignore file. These are the files we'll ignore by the Git. And this is a license, basic README documentation for the project, and other requirement to be installed and all the dependencies for the project and the user manual.mv. That's the user manual. Let's just quickly open up the user manual and we'll see what are the steps to follow. So first thing first, it says this, it's here you have the Python installation in your system. Yes, absolutely. I have my Python installation set up in my computer, and I'll clone the repository containing the agent code. Oh, I have done it. And let's just copy this, and I will go to the git bash, and I'll do not here exactly. Let me just do this. I'll just choose cd. I'll just open up the folder, and here I'll do the requirement installations. I think my system already have all this installation set up because I have worked with this project already. So let me put it a bit down. So I'll go to the third stage. So right now I have to maintain the API keys. So to just let me just copy the entire thing and copy it. It just said you have to go to your project folder. So let's just choose which project we're working on. We'll be working under the sample. Let's just as now let's delete the chatbot. Let me delete the chatbot, and I'll go to the sample, and I'll just inside the sample I will needing one .env file .env. Perfect. So in this .env I have to paste this file. Let me format it a little bit. Okay, perfect. So at this one, you have to keep your API keys here, and this application will work. So let me tell you how you can quickly get the API keys. For the OpenAPI, you have to go to the OpenAI API keys, and same goes for the DeepSeek API keys and the Anthropic API keys. So Anthropic Cloud A, you must have heard the model, and the DeepSeek API key is the fine-tuned one over the GPT models, and we have the OpenAPI API keys that you must have heard. So let me just quickly fill all those fields, so I must not lose my data. So I'll just quickly close this. I have done this process. So what I can do is I can go to the configuration section, and I can choose which LLM should I be using. So I'll go to my agent.sh file. I'll go to user.config.sh. Here I can see that we'll be using DeepSeek. Okay, so I'm okay with the DeepSeek API keys that we'll be using. So if I'm using DeepSeek, it means I might need the DeepSeek API keys. So let me just save it, and I will go to the I'll go to the agent.sh, and instead of Python 3, I'll do Python because right now I'm running this in the Windows environment. So let me go to my agent self itself. I'll go to the conf.sh, not the, this one. I will again do this. Let me just expand a bit so you'll get a better preview of the development environment. Okay, so let me again get back to the README, the user manual, sorry. And I think I have done it all. This is the execution process. And yes, and we can see we have the ignoring files that create a ignore.txt files in the both references and the source directory and all. Okay, that's fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna close this first, and we're gonna work on this source directory inside the sample. Inside the sample, I'll just close the projects. Sorry, I'll just close the agent self. I'll open up the prompt and create one file called code.prompt.md. So inside this, we will be writing all the thinking skills, the project structure, how our project gonna be, how the functional implementation, if there is an involvement of APIs, and the server configuration dependencies, everything all at once. So let me just quickly check everything is perfect and everything is working. So I have to put the API key here. So let me check my API key once. Okay, let me take this file with me here, and I will copy my API keys and I'll put it there. Okay, so let me copy my environment variable for the DeepSeek LLMs, and I'll just get back. Okay, perfect. So the API keys has been set perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some prompt here for our applications. So the basic prompt, the application will be having two different interfaces. We'll be having one client side, which through which we will interact with our server, and we have the server side. The server will process the AI request. The server will process the client request, and then it will send the message to the AI. It will get the response back from the AI, and it will emit back to the users. So the client will render in the UI, and the flow will continue. So through is the bidirectional communication will establish throughout the socket connections. Okay, so without a delay, so let's just start with the prompt. So I have the brief prompt with me. So I have prepared a little bit earlier just to make sure the code will execute nicely and in a clean way. So what I'm going to tell the AI is let's create a complete chat applications with the both client side and the server side code. We have to include the integration with the DeepSeek API. The application should be built using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and Node.js, Express, Socket.io, Axios, and Course. And the key component is outlined here. So I think the prompt is missing one more thing. Let me make two directories. One is server and two is client. In server, we have the server.js, AI/services.js. In client, we have index.js, the root file. Sorry, not index.js, it should be HTML, and CSS/style.css and JS/app.js. Okay, perfect. So I think, and we also have said that we have to have some HTML structure, and I have kept some standard way of implementing that ID and some deep names and all this to make sure we are working with the full-fledged working project. So, and also I have also added my chatbot name is my AI friend, and the CSS styling, and the server will run the socket connection in the local host at port 4000. And in the server side, we have a lot of dependencies that Node.js, Express, HTTP, Socket.io, and Course. And we'll be using Axios to connect with the AI services. And we'll be having one function that connects with the AI services, and we'll be keeping that services under the AI. So the server setup, these basics. So we're going to create one server, and we'll allow all the origins to access this. So, and we're going to mention the port, and we'll make one AI endpoint through which we'll receive, which listen all the server secure connections. So there'll be some socket events and the API integrations. We have added bunch of prompts just to make sure the AI handles all the API requests. So we have the API endpoint for the DeepSeek, and we'll be using the API key, and we'll just send the messages. We'll send the prompt and we'll receive the messages. And we'll start the server, and the app will end. And after this execution of the prompt, we'll test the application, either it is working or not. So let's just quickly execute this code with our agent. So let me first check which directory I am. So VWT, I'm in the ByteBoss AI agent. So I had to go to CD projects, and inside projects, I have one more file called sample. So here, if I do ls, I can see my agent is there. So I'll copy this agent. I'll just execute /agent.sh. So before doing so, I have to make sure everything is perfectly working and all setup is done. Okay, perfect. If we have any issues, we'll just do the troubleshoot in the live session itself. So let's just quickly execute the agent just to make sure everything is working. Let me expand it to the top so you'll get a better preview so we can see there is an issue. Okay, let me just check what was the issue and we will understand what issue is. Okay, so we are getting the invalid request error. I'm pretty sure that all of our requests is valid. So I'm gonna add one more file because later on we'll be adding the node modules. And package.json. Package.log. So we'll add these three files inside this. So I think my environment variable will have the data filled. Let me just quickly check that one. And I'll make sure everything is working perfectly. So let me just check my ENB is having all this data. I have the open API key, DeepSeek API key, and everything is there. Okay. I think I made a mistake up there. So yeah. So there was issue with the API key. I've just quickly fixed this one. Let me quickly execute the code once and we'll check. Okay, sure. So I'll do ls. Okay, the execution command was wrong. azent.sh. Okay. Let's just wait for some time and we'll see how the code is working. So till that time, what are you gonna do is we're gonna explore what our projects is. So here, I just ask AI to create two folders. One is server and one is client. And inside the server, I'm gonna create one. It's gonna create one file, server.js, and inside AI directory, it's gonna create AI service.js. So in the client, it will does the same index.html, CSS, and JavaScript, and it will do all these chat functionality implementations. Okay, let's just wait for some time and see how the chat is going to perform, and we will check that how the code quality and how the output will be. So let's just wait because it's going to take time because it is going to be full-fledged, full-stack project because we'll be using Node.js and Express to set up a framework and set up a server, and then we will be using socket.io for the server-side socket connections. So we can see the one file has been successfully written in the client folder, and we have the index.html. Let's just wait for some more time, and we'll see the action in the real time. So yeah, again, we see the update from the LLMs that's received from the LLM3. We got the updated file. That's the style.css file is being written. So we can see everything in actions, like we can see the client file has been written. So inside the client file, we can see the CSS is written and index.html is written. So as per our command or as per our prompt, the file is being generated. So let's just wait for some time. So make sure everything is working. So again, we can see our JavaScript file has been written. let's just close the client, and I or we all will wait till it finishes the server-side code. And after finishing the server-side code, there will be some installation of the dependency installation we have to do, and we will see the process. So we can see the server.js has been written, and now it will create one more directory called AI, and inside which it will append the file service.js. Yes, absolutely. So the process has been done. So I think we have done all the process of execution. It is suggesting us to use all these things. So if I type yes, it is going to execute it here in the source directory itself, so that I don't want to do it. So I want to do it in the server directory. So what I can do is I'll just copy the entire this thing. And here I'll say, no, I don't want, no, I don't want. Thank you very much. So what I'm going to do is I'll just quickly go to my server, and inside the server, okay, I think I would have gone with here itself. So I'll just do cd, I'll just first do ls, which is the file structure. So I'll just go to my source, cd src/server. So here I'll do ls, so I can see all the content here. Yes, this is the file. I can see the server.js. I'll just do npm init-y. So to initialize the npm, the node project here, so it will just fill all those values in the JSON. So name of the server, and what is the entry point of my program, that is server.js, and some script to do some dev and all the stuff. And let me just install npm. So I think I've copied, I'll just paste. Let me copy, let me just go through the process so I can also see there should be one more npm install z nodemon. I'll also be implementing nodemon to see the real-time refresh in the real-time monitoring of server updates. Every time I have saved the file, I don't have to do the manual restart of the server. So let me just quickly paste that command and just save it, sorry, install it. It will install the nodemon in the dev dependencies. So it will be applied only in the dev environment. So if I go to my package.json file, I can see all my configuration is set up. So I can see my dev dependencies is nodemon and all those Axios, course, .env, expression, socket IO, as per the suggestions from the agent. So let me again quickly verify whether I've installed everything. So I had to install socket express. Yes, everything is done. So it also and also I have to create one environment variable, because we are taking, let's just go to server.js. It is taking the port. So I had to .env, it's doing like this, perfect. So what I'm going to do is let me just check. Oh, okay, perfect. So let's not worry about the code, because we know how it works and we know how technology is been implemented for the codings and all, right? So if we have a good vision, if we know how the functions should work, then we don't have to worry about what is being written and what's happening inside the code. So if we have an idea, we can anytime optimize and we can make the code efficient. So let's just quickly in the server, let me quickly create the .env file. So in the .env file, I have to add two more variables. The first one is API key, and another one is the port, right? So port is going to be 4000, right? And I'll just let me just quickly fill my .env file there. I'll just quickly get it there, and I will copy the Perfect. So I just saved my environment variable in the server itself, so it can pick the port from here and it will do all the operations. Let me save the code and let me go to my package.json. I have to add one more script here. So let's just do some manual coding up here. I'll just add the nodemon. So every time if I do npm start, sorry, it's just n, it will check and it will refresh the server every time if we have any changes in our files. So I'll just do the clear and let me do the let me go back to my agent file is there. I can see now what I can do is I'll just do agent.sh. No, not agent.sh. Sorry for that. Let me go to my client file. I'll open up the index.html. I'll open up with the live server. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to open up the live preview that we have got from the chatbot, and let me keep it this side. I think I had to alter the layout here to make sure everything is working. Okay, this preview is perfect. So let me quickly expand this preview so we can see the terminal or the interface. So let me quickly resize it. I'll just make it a little bit bigger so we can have preview here. Okay, perfect. So I'm not sure either we can close this. Yes, we can close this. Perfect. So let me just check whether it is working or not. So we will be this is our client, and I'll go to the chatbot and I'll just check that. I don't know, this is not working, it seems. I'll create one more. I'll just create one more terminal, and I'll just go to the cd this one and cd projects, and slash sample slash src slash server. Okay, so at this point I have all those files here. I'm in the server right now. So what I can do is npm start. If I do npm start, my server will be starting. So we got some issues here at the server. Let me check quickly. So API key is not set in the environment variables. So let me just check the environment variable is set or not, and then we'll be able to see. So this is my server and the with AI non-modules, and it seems that my env file is there, but let me check whether it has the values or not. It does have the values, so let's not worry about it. And let's just close this, and again we'll just save the environment. I'll just terminate the server, and I'll just do npm start. Okay. So again, I'm seeing the same issues here. So the environment variable is not set in the AI and services.js. So let me just quickly go to the AI and services.js and which API it is being used. So process.env.api keys. Okay, the API keys should be loaded, but I'm not sure why it is not loaded. Let me just check. Oh, we're not importing it here. I think we already have imported the in here. So we're imported here, we're doing the configuration here, and then we are calling it here. This is not the main program, so I think it should work. Let me quickly check either I need to do the config or not. Yeah, we have configuration for this one here, and we have used this port here. Okay, So I think we have to do the manual listening. See, AI forgets for some populations. Let's just quickly do this thing. So we can see if I just did one changes there, and the server refreshes itself, and we can see that the new client has been connected. So server is running in port 4000, and my client is been connected. I can see the new client has been connected. Now I'll be able to do the chat with my AI. Now let me just do a chat and just see how the AI services is working and all. And if we have any issues, we'll just fix it. So first of all, I'll open up my local host just to make sure my server is running. Server is listening for the socket connections I can see. Okay, so I will go to my client and then I'll just ask some questions here, like what is the capital of US? So it says, how can I help you? And maybe I could have just said, hi, I need some help making the notes. And I'll just send it, just have some loading animations up there. And it just said, sorry, I could not process your message. So in the server, we can see that there is some issues with implementing the DeepSeek API. So let me just check what is the issue, and then we'll just check what is the problem. So hi, I need some notes and error this thing with status code this, and we have the bad request, and okay, let me just quickly check how the response has been implemented. Okay, perfect. So I think the configurations we have used in the code is wrong. So let's just we have to go to the DeepSeek AI, and then we have to do some basic research how the AI and how this API is going to work. So what I'm going to do is I do have the config file there. I'll just make the config file here, and I'll just add it in the prompt, code.prompt.md, and well, we'll let it work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one prompt here. I'll just make it a little bit bigger so we can have a clear preview. So in the server /EI/services to this, please follow this approach for the API calling. This is the official document. I got it from their pages, right? So this is the way. So we have to do some config, and we have to use some data just to make sure everything is working. And we'll be having one message rule, AI and assistant message rule to map it to the assistant. And we'll be giving some basic prompt to our AI just to get the human-like responses, right? So this is the one we should be doing it. Let's just go and save this, and we'll just get back to our agent, and we will execute the agent. So we'll do ls. So sorry, I'll do ls just to make sure agent is there. Let's just execute this command, and we will see how it performs. So let's just wait for some time to finish its working. So I think it won't take much time because we're just updating only one file, so it will not interfere the other files that you've edited. So it just sent data to LLM1, and then we receive from the LLM1, and back and forth. We'll do the multiple iteration just to get the refined code, and we'll make everything is working. So let me just check everything is well in the client side. Let me just let me just open up the console just to make sure everything is clean in the console. Perfect. Okay. So let's close this because I can't see there's not much going on at the client side because we have an issue with the server side. So in the earlier implementation, we have got one message that client has been connected. So Yes, so it is from some of the information that we need to do it. So we already have installed all those things. So I'm not sure we have to do it again. So um, let me just check that we'll not be doing it. Thank you very much for your options. Yes, perfect. So let me just quickly check. By mistake, I have not installed the Axios because I just realized that. Do we have an Axios? Yes, we have it. So perfect. So now what you're gonna do is we will check either everything is working or not. I have my server running here. I can see that at the bottom, I'll just scroll it to the bottom. So after the AI agent pushes the code, it just refreshes the Node.js server, and new client is connected, client disconnected, and new client is connected again. If I do the refresh again, it will say new client is connected. So this moment my AI chatbot is there. Now what I can do is I can just say hi. Hi, how can I help you? And I'll say hi. So we have received the message, and yes, absolutely. And we can see, hello, it's great to connect with you. How is your day going so far? And what's been on your mind lately? Perfect. So now we're getting the responses from the AI services itself. So as we know that we had a good vision of our project, so let me just quickly open up the prompt that we have it earlier. So let me just close this and just let me get back to the previous prompt here. Oh, perfect. So this is our full-fledged prompt. So with the help of this prompt, in just 2 clicks or the two times we have run our agent, and we got this full-fledged project. So we have all the structure here. It follows everything, and it applies everything into our project. And likewise, we can see in the localhost 4000, our project is running. This is our server. In this server, we are listening our socket connections. So likewise, same ways, if you can go to your code and you can check either everything is working properly or not. We have the localhost 4000, and in this port, we are listening our socket connection. So here you can see at somewhere, we can see that the socket connection implementation is there. Just a second. Okay, this is the socket. We are initialize the socket here, and this socket we might have used somewhere to send the message. Okay. Okay, yes, here. So when the socket is on, we're sending the messages, and we're emitting the message when we send it, and we'll send the message, and we'll just show the output dots. And when receiving the message, we are doing the we're doing the data binding, and we're displaying in the UI. Well, yes, this is the full-fledged project that we have just built with the help of AI agent. Let me just quickly close all those tabs. Right now, these are all tabs that are unnecessary. So I'll just walk through our app, what it can do. I'll just close everything so I can see the dummy text here. So hello, how can I help you? I can say, hi, can you help me preparing the notes? I'll just send it. I can see this smooth loading animation up there, and I can wait for a response. It says, absolutely, I'd be happy to help prepare your notes and something, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's just ask some more questions. Do you know about the junior IT? Let's just ask if it does have the information on. Well, I'm not familiar with it, especially. Okay. Cool. So maybe there is a knowledge information cutoff, so it doesn't know the information about. So let's just ask more questions like, what is the capital of USA. The capital of United States is this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we have the full working project, and it does the human-like communication. Let me just show you. So if I say hi, it says hello, it's great to connect with you. How's your day so far, and what's been your mind lately? I'm working on an AI project. Isn't it exciting? Let me just ask like a human with some added feelings and some emotional touch. So it just replied, absolutely, it just cheers me up. And then working on an AI project can be incredibly exciting and all those things. So everything. Okay, yeah, this is the full-fledged and working chatbot. This is powered by DeepSeek LLM, and then we have implemented the front end as well as the back end. The back end at the port 4000, we are constantly listening the socket connections from the client, and once established, we were talking with the client and the server. So let's just quickly close this one. So this is a project that we have used to create this nice and beautiful project chatbot applications. So you can fork the project and you can start working on it, and you can just start it to make sure that you have loved and you can show some support up there. So you can see all this process and installations. And if you have any new features coming in, you can do the pull request, and then you can start working on and send the PR. So let's just quickly, I'm gonna show the Discord channels for the DevBrain.ai. Currently, we have more than 10 members in the channel, so feel free to jump into this channel. So, and thank you very much for showing the love to the last video. So we have our last video. We have got more over 800 views, and it's been a week though, so we haven't uploaded. And we're working full time to deliver the right content and the project, so you all can access the content. So just feel free to jump to our Discord server. In every videos, in the link we have added the description of the video as well. We have added the GitHub link for the project, and we have also added the Discord link. So by clicking the Discord link, you'll be redirected to the accepted invitation link. So you can click it and you can get onboarded to our Discord channels. So with that said, thank you very much for this awesome project. So we have just built one chat project. So that is the bidirectional communication with the server using the socket tile. So we just understood what is socket, what is chatbot, and how does the AI services being used in the chatbot to make the life easy, and its impact and all the basic terminologies being used. So once you have a good vision with yourselves, you can build a good project with the help of ByteBoss AI agent. Thank you for joining this session, and the very next session will be coming up with the very much exciting projects, and we will be committed to deliver the good experience with you. Thank you very much.